Imagine walking out of your exam room feeling like you completely crushed it, only to realize weeks later that a single, kind of vague sentence literally costs you your entire grade. Well, when it comes to Cambridge IGCSE computer science, wasting time and lacking absolute precision in your answers will actively crash your score. There is zero room for hesitation, and there's absolutely no room for guessing.
Take a look at this statement. A network is just computers connected together to share things. Now, to an everyday person, this sounds perfectly fine, right? It sounds basically correct. But to a Cambridge examiner, this is a catastrophic generic student answer that earns exactly 0 marks. It's missing every single required technical noun. If you write like this on test day, you are literally throwing away vital marks on topics you actually already understand.
So, to fix this right now, I want you to treat your exam exactly like a Formula One race. Think about it. When an F1 car pulls into the pit stop, the mechanics don't just, broadly hit the car with a wrench and hope for the best. It's a highly calculated, lightning-fast, and exact technical fix. Your exam answers have to be exactly the same way. Precision is everything here. You need to use the exact correct tool, or in this case, the exact technical term, to avoid crashing your score. Okay, let's upgrade that 0-mark answer we just looked at by defining the core concept of a computer network accurately. A network isn't just computers. No, it is a collection of interconnected devices known as nodes, which are linked together through communication channels. A node can be a computer, for sure, but it could also be a printer, a server, or really any other device that is capable of sending or receiving data. That specific word right there, node, that is your very first precise tool. And once these nodes are connected up via these communication pathways, some pretty incredible things start to happen. We aren't just sharing things anymore, we're enabling high-level functions across entirely different geographic locations. We're talking about absolutely crucial resource sharing, like accessing network printers or central storage devices. We're talking about global connectivity that allows for cross-cultural learning, the rapid exchange of information through email and FTP, and even efficient online assessment and evaluation. These interconnected pathways are literally what make modern computing so powerful. Now, with all these nodes sharing resources globally, you might be wondering, how do they avoid total chaos? Well, they use specific communication protocols, and the absolute most fundamental protocol suite out there is TCP/IP. This isn't just some random technical acronym you can ignore. It's the fundamental suite governing exactly how data packets are transmitted, routed, and received. It's the traffic cop that ensures data exchange stays completely orderly, reliable, and error-free across the entire network. So all of this theory actually builds into what I call our ultimate exam weapon, the elite answer framework. When an exam question asks you to explain a network component, you don't just dump a bunch of random facts onto the page. You use this precise 4-step method. Step 1, identify the core concept. Step 2, explain the mechanism, like how it actually works behind the scenes. Step 3, state the consequence or advantage of that specific mechanism. And step 4, use the exact examiner wording. This framework takes dry, boring theory and transforms it into a highly actionable, high-mark tool. Now, in just a second, I'm going to drop a massive examiner clue regarding switches versus hubs that is going to completely change how you approach hardware questions. If you miss this clue, you are super likely to confuse the two devices and lose easy marks on a highly testable topic. But to make this clue super obvious, we first need to look at exactly how these two specific devices handle their data traffic. All right, so the crucial difference literally comes down to how they route traffic. Both of these devices connect nodes in a local area network, but they do it in completely different ways. Think of a hub like someone walking into a crowded room and just blindly shouting a message for everyone to hear. It broadcasts the received message to the entire network, which, as you can guess, causes massive network congestion. A switch, however, is smart. It actually checks the system or port before sending anything, meaning it connects the source and the destination directly. This drastically increases both network speed and security. Now, here is a major exam trap you need to watch out for. Because hubs and switches function so differently, a lot of students just assume they look totally different too. But actually, hubs and switches share common physical hardware features. They both have multiple RJ45 ports, they both have built-in power supplies, and they both feature connection lights for diagnostics. Do not let a generic hardware diagram on your exam paper trick you. You absolutely must differentiate them based on their data transmission mechanism, not just their physical appearance. Okay, but what happens when our nodes need to talk to a device that's outside of their local area network? Switches manage internal LAN traffic perfectly, but they can't browse the wider web. That is exactly where the router comes into play. The router is the ultimate gateway device. It's used to connect a LAN with an internet connection or to link two completely distinct networks together. And actually, fun fact, most modern routers you'd buy for a home or small business actually have a built-in switch right inside them. All right, it's time to test your pit stop precision. I literally want you to pause this explainer right now. Let's look at this scenario. A business needs to connect 5 PCs and a printer locally and provide them all with internet access. Using our 4-step framework, I want you to predict the exact hardware setup required for this Cambridge-style scenario. Pay close attention to these specific nouns in the prompt. Go ahead, pause now, write down your answer, and then hit play when you're ready. Okay, let's see how you did. Notice how applying our framework to these specific scenario nouns captures every single available mark. If you just wrote, use a router to connect everything, well, that's our flawed generic answer. But look at the top band upgrade. Use a switch to connect the 5 PC nodes and printer directly, creating a LAN. Then use a router to connect this LAN to the internet. We also specifically mentioned that the switch checks the destination port to send data directly to the printer, avoiding network broadcasts. Boom. That right there captures every single mark. So if you remember nothing else from this explainer, remember this equation for the rest of your revision. Exact technical terms will always be greater than generic concepts. An examiner-safe answer must always respond to the exact constraints of the scenario using precise technical components. Remember, you aren't just hooking up computers. You are utilizing switches to directly route data packets on a LAN and using routers to connect that LAN to the wider internet. Listen, to guarantee you never fall for one of these 0 mark traps again, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Ace the Exams on YouTube at acetheexams_IGCSE. We consistently break down these massive complex specifications into the exact high-yield strategies you're going to need for exam day. But wait, before you get too comfortable, I've got one final question for you. What happens when you understand all the network components, the hubs, the switches, the routers, the nodes, absolutely perfectly, but you misread the command word in the question itself? Let me tell you, you could write a brilliant, perfectly technical paragraph and still get a big fat 0. Mastering this first lap we just did is great, but navigating command word traps is your mandatory next lap. So make sure you jump into our next explainer right away, because misunderstanding an evaluate prompt versus a describe prompt will completely dismantle your grade. I'll see you over there.